Joining us now at the Immigrant Business Expo is Sharon Connolly, Vice President of the NEST program at the Business Development Bank of Canada. Sharon, so can you share with our audience what NEST is at the BDC?
Sure. NEST is the Newcomer Entrepreneur Success Team, and it was formed because we see that there are a lot of barriers that newcomers face in accessing financing. It was actually an idea that was generated by an internal innovation contest. BDC is trying to not just encourage innovation in our clients, but also promote it internally, and so we think of it entrepreneurship and immigration, especially in big centers like Toronto or Vancouver, but it actually came from a team that was based in Atlantic Canada, and based on what the challenges they were seeing the entrepreneurs they were meeting face, and with accessing financing and also the resources that they needed to get started in business.
So can you explain to us how BDC is different from traditional lenders?
Sure. So every client at BDC would also be a client of a traditional bank. At BDC, we're the only bank in Canada that's dedicated exclusively to entrepreneurs. So that means that we provide loans and advisory services to entrepreneurs. We also have a big venture capital arm that provides funding for early stage companies.
Now, you come across so many different newcomers who are interested in starting their business. What are some key barriers that you could call out and maybe so that our audience members can resonate with?
So a big thing would be credit. So either not having a credit score or having limited personal credit because they haven't been in Canada for that long. How to do business in Canada, because you might be really successful in the country that you came from, but business culture in Canada is not the same. So helping make sure that you understand business culture and just the formalities of doing business in Canada, right? It's in some places there isn't so much need for documentation, and here we have quite a high need for documentation and understanding where, if you're investing funds in a business, where those funds come from, and also what we see people face is bias, either conscious or unconscious bias. So we want to also help them to overcome that. Yeah.
Now, like you mentioned, there's some bias around people who are new to the country and starting a business. How would you say your best piece of advice to get around that bias, especially emotionally, for those who are new to this place?
Yeah, I think one of the best things that you can do is find a supportive network to help you to navigate the system. And at the show today, there were a number of organizations that can help with exactly that. So organizations like Skills for Change, or we've done a lot of work with Access Employment through their Entrepreneurship Connections program, and that's an intensive program where companies can go through and build their business plan, meet other like-minded entrepreneurs, and learn how to navigate some of those things, so that when they show up for financing, they understand how to talk about their business, they understand the financials, the marketing piece of how things are going. Yeah.
And when meeting with financial lenders, what are some, I think, from your perspective, some key things to be prepared for before a meeting with a lender?
So I think to really have thought about your business case and what it means. So to look at what are the opportunities that I'm facing, what are the weaknesses of my business. We were chatting a little bit earlier about SWOT, and to kind of have gone through that, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that can face your business, and to have put together some sort of a business plan. It doesn't necessarily have to be a huge 50-page document, but it has to be well thought out. It has to be, there's tools like Business Model Canvas that you can use, so everything ends up on one page, but it really takes you through all aspects of the business. So what is my market? What does my product look like? How am I going to reach out to clients? What are my financial forecasts? Are they feasible? Are they not feasible? Because your lender will really want to know that you have thought about these things. If you just show up and you're not, you have an idea, but you're not probably going to get very, yeah, yeah, versus a viable plan. And then again, the understanding how business is done here, culture, right? So if I heard a story recently of someone who, in their culture, it was really rude to go in and talk about business right away. So the first couple of meetings with their bankers didn't go very far because they were trying to establish rapport, not understanding that here it's okay to go in and get right to business. Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the other things I want to ask is, with BDC, there's also so many tools online and also studies that the BDC publishes. What are some, I think, great suggestions you can make for our audience to take advantage of these things?
So we have a business planning tool. So if you, I mentioned the need for a business plan, we do have a tool that you can use online. But another really interesting tool is we have an entrepreneurial assessment tool online. So you can, if you were in the early stages of thinking, I think I might want to become an entrepreneur, I'm not really sure if it's for me, this is a great way to go in and ask some self-assessment, yeah, to help you get directed. And then beyond that, we have all kinds of tools and resources related to marketing, things like, is it better to buy or lease a property or equipment? Is it, how to grow your business, how to build a strategic plan?
So one of the key things is to do market research and do it effectively. Do you have any pieces of advice for those small business owners who need to do their own market research?
So I would say that you're going to do some in-person research with your first-party research with people that you know, or by going to a small fair maybe to test out your product or the need for it, but also to do online research, to Google search, see who your competitors are, what is being offered in the market, and what maybe the gaps are. That'll help you refine your offering to make sure that it really suits the needs of what's happening.
Thank you so much for your time, Sharon.
All right, thank you.